Welcome back to Creepy Crawler's Garage and another daily update. We're going to take a quick look at what's going on with the TRX4 project, and we built a burnt out truck body, so we'll take a look at that also. Let's hang out for this quick opener. When we get back, I'll meet you in the garage. Don't go anywhere. Before we take a look at the TRX-Z project, I do want to mention that I gave a cleaning to the workshop and actually built a camera rack. So now I'll be able to film some of the work that goes into these projects. Instead of just showing you the finished product like we usually look at, I can actually show you some footage from the build process to get to that point. And I'm hoping that'll give you a little more insight on how we get to the finished product instead of just showing you that finished product. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the TRX-Z project. And it's a small update this time. Basically, I just worked on the barrel for the gun turret. Let me zoom in, you can get a better look. I just added some details to it, basically by adding like a hazard logo or a toxic logo to the barrel and a little bit more weathering. So I think it looks a little more weathered now. In fact, I added the toxic logo on both sides. So depending on whichever window you're looking through, hopefully you'll be able to see that kind of that detail. I think it's kind of a cool detail. And I added it where it looks like it's been cut through when we cut up the barrel for the turret. But I think that adds a pretty nice detail to the gun turret. Now I will continue adding electronics to this, and of course we're also going to add the video monitor right back here for the gunner that sits back here for him to use. And like I said, I'll be adding some little electronic pieces, which is kind of the controlling mechanism or the targeting system, I guess we'll say, for the gun. And then I'll add some wiring or whatnot. I'll try to do that actually this evening, get that all finished up. But I just wanted to give you guys a quick update. This is basically all I did on the TRX-Z project because I kind of been working on a different project for the city itself. And we'll take a look at that here in just a second. But let me know what you think about the barrel so far. And let me know what you think about the interior altogether. Just keep those ideas coming. Let me know down in the comment section. On the streets of the city that we're going to be building, I wanted to add in an old burnt out truck body, a body that everything had been stripped off of and then had been lit on fire. And basically that's going to be kind of a visual demonstration of how bad the apocalypse is. We'll have this kind of sitting on the side of the street. And so what I did is I took a 4Runner body that I had sitting around. This is the one that we had chopped up. We were going to use it for a shop truck. Actually, I have a replacement for this. So I went ahead and used this one to kind of burn out. And what I did, I wanted to keep it somewhat simple. This is basically just going to be sitting somewhat in the background on a street on a street scene. When we drive by, you'll see this in the background. So I wanted to keep this process somewhat simple. And what I did is I gave it a coat of blue automotive paint. And then I took my torch and literally just started burning the paint. So I took the torch and just burnt all the paint, which also heated up a lot of the plastic and kind of melted. And it gives it kind of that melted look, which I think came out it ended up looking pretty good where some of the plastic started melting away, but it also gave me some burn marks, like some spots I cooked a little more than others. But it also gave it a realistic burned look because this was automotive paint and it was really lit on fire. So that was the start. And then I started just adding washes. I started by adding some black washes. And then I also I used some baking powder and some gray primer and made kind of a chalk. And that's what I used to give it some of this ashy look on here. So I tried using like paper towel and whatnot to apply it. But I ended up just using my fingers was the best way. Just using my hands to apply kind of this, it's kind of a chalky paint, I guess you could say, that I put together and to give it that kind of ashy look. And then I started adding in some brown washes just to give a variety to the paint color itself. And then just kind of kept layering in. And the black wash I'm using, I thinned it out real thin because I just wanted to apply it in layers. Because I was looking at some real photos of burnt out cars, and I would have thought that they were mainly very black, and they're not. They're actually a very light color. They're a very ash color. So I'm trying to keep some of those lights. In fact, I think I'm going to bring in some more of the light washes. I have some gray washes I've been using. I'm gonna bring some of that just to bring out the light colors or the ashy colors a little bit more. But anyways, I just kept applying those washes over top of it over and over, just trying to bring out some of the shapes of the body and just give it some tones. And then I wanted to add, of course, an outsider's tag to it. Like it's been sitting there, and the outsiders, as they came by, they tagged it. So what I did on this one is I just airbrushed in kind of a red spot where the tag would go, and then I cut out, because my fine line airbrush is not working. All I have is my larger tipped airbrush. What I did is I cut out a template, and then use it as a rough template, basically. But I cut out a template, and you can hold that a little bit off the body, and it'll give you, when you spray it, it'll give you a template like this where it has some rough edges to it, or some feathered edges is the better way to say it. So it kind of feathers it out, makes it look more spray paint, but it gave me a little more control of the white paint for the Outsiders logo. And then I gave a few washes over top of that. But like I said, I think I'm gonna add some more of the lighter washes to this, and I might even add some more of the brown, just to give it more of a deeper color and more of a brighter color, give it more depth. But again, I'm going to keep this somewhat simple because it is just going to be sitting in the background. In fact, what I did is I went and made some cinder blocks, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it sitting. Let's see if I can put out these cinder blocks for it to sit on. But the idea is it'll just be sitting on the street on cinder blocks, like everything was stolen off of it, and then it got lit on fire, something to that effect, so that it's just kind of sitting there on cinder blocks. And this is all that's left. I'm thinking about also adding maybe some little spare parts, some small different little parts laying around. They kind of got left behind. You know, they stole the wheels, they stole the axles, they stole the engine, they stole all that. I might have some maybe some burnt out interior pieces kind of laying in there, something like that. But basically, this will just be sitting in the background along the city, maybe even in like an alleyway or something. But it's just, again, another visual indicator of that we're in the middle of an apocalypse and this is what's going on. But anyways, let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about things of this sort, having stuff like this sitting around in the street. If you have any ideas for these kind of things also, remember we also did the the little kiddie ride that's going to be sitting outside of a grocery store, I think. I'll probably make another one of these like we had talked about. But I want to have a bunch of these kind of things because we're going to build the buildings. That's one, it's one thing to have the buildings, the different businesses and those kind of things and all the neon lights, but we need to have all the, I guess what you could call the details in the city. If you have any ideas like that, let me know down in the comment section. I'm open to all different ideas. And these are actually a lot of fun to build. So I'd like to bring you guys in on building some of these things also, but just let me know down in the comment section. And before we go, I just wanted to mention real quick that we had these tie downs back here on the flatbeds where we're going to be carrying different parts that we go out and get, and we needed a way to tie them down to the flatbeds. So I just want to say a big thank you to Paul Taylor for sending out some of his Roadhog recovery ropes. So basically these are recovery ropes that he makes. In fact, let me show you. He sent the ones that I think they'll work for this project. He sent some black ones and a camouflage one. Let's take a look at this camo one because it's actually really cool. So he puts together these recovery ropes, these scale recovery ropes, and he sent a bunch of them over for us to use that I can use back here as tie downs. Again, they're also going to be used as recovery ropes, but I think I'm going to use them as tie downs back here with these tie down hooks that we made. But I just wanted to show you guys, these are really cool recovery ropes that he put together. We've got the camouflage one. He actually sent over a couple of black ones, and then he also sent over, just as an example, all the different colors he can put together. So anyways, if you guys are interested in some recovery ropes, make sure and check out the Roadhog recovery ropes that Paul Taylor does. These are pretty nice. I don't know if they show up well on camera here, but in person, these are really well put together. And I don't know if you can tell, but they're woven. They look really good. Anyways, go check them out if it's something that you're interested in. Thanks for joining me for another daily update here in the Creepy Crawler's Garage. And I know I've said it 100 times, but I just want to say it again. I really do appreciate all the support on this series. I'm blown away by how much of support, all the comments, Paul Taylor sending in recovery ropes for me to use, everybody that sent stuff for me to use on this series. Really did not expect that when I started this. I really do appreciate that support. It's a big help. It really helps me putting this series together on a shoestring, so that really does help. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you that are out there watching this. Everybody that checks in in every day to watch this series. I just can't say thank you enough. I can't believe how many people show up every day to watch this. It's really cool. It's really fun. I'm loving the comments. Keep those comments coming. Thank you so much. Thank you to all of you for hitting that like button. It really does help. And if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. But thank you again, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.